Welcome back again, guys. Nori is here, and for today, we gonna keep playing the other walkthrough. Yesterday, we played the cruel walkthrough, which is the ending wasn't as good as the other one. I'm not sure about the rest yet because I haven't tried them. Kemarin kita sudah main cruel walkthrough. Gak tahu saya apa bahasa Indonya. Tapi mari kita lanjut lagi, coba walkthrough yang lain. Gimana endingnya? Kan endingnya 4, tinggal 3 lagi. There is 3 ending left, guys. So let's start the game. Okay, I did fast forward through this walkthrough at the beginning. So Nelly's throat stung as she gulped the cold down air. Okay, she was riding her bike. Her arms were shaking, the muscles ached so much that she struggled to grasp the handles. The haggard squeaks from the wheels of her bike tore through the silence that determined the permanent dark forest. She choked for breath around the small flashlight clenched between her teeth. The light was modest, only illuminating a small patch of the road directly in front of her bike. Okay. She needed to hurry. The sun was already starting to rise. I'm gonna read this while I'm having my cola. It was okay. There's only 3 left. What do you mean 3 left? Nellie drove her wheel down, paddling with renewed vigor. She raised herself from the seat, leaning over the handles of the bike as she frantically turned the pedals, going faster and faster and faster until snap. Okay. She fell down, tail ripped through Nellie as she was all flung over the handles of her bike. 3 left. She instinctively covered her face with her arm. She hit the ground. Her shoulders smacked against the concrete. A jolt of pain tore through the right side of her body. Okay. For a moment, she lay on the road trying to steady her shaky breath as the robbing pain subsided into a dull ache. Okay, she fell down off her bike. As soon as her head stopped spinning, she forced herself up on her. She rotated her shoulders, and it still hurt, but she could move it without any issues. Her knees and arms stung too. At first, she was going to check them for injuries, but then she stopped herself. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward and read this. You guys can fast forward the video also. She got up on her knees and looked around, squinting in an attempt to pierce the murkiness of the early dawn light. Heart pounding, she patted the ground all around her. She found it. She breathed a sigh of relief. The yellow bag had fallen off the side. She pulled it closer and examined it carefully. The zipper was shut tight. Everything was still inside. She slung the bag back over her shoulders and retrieved the fallen flashlight before returning her attention to her bike. It had collapsed on its side, the wheel still spinning. The chain had come undone, dropped over the ground like a dead snake. She picked up the chain. It was strangely slack.
Nellie.
Okay, that's Rako. She looked up. Cold tingled down her neck and through her spine, sending a chill running all the way to her fingers and toes. Rako was standing over there. Rako Komodo. Okay, her ex-boyfriend. Okay, the tall young man peered down at her with curious icy eyes from under the fring of her badly dyed hair. What was he doing here? How could he be here right now at this exact moment, right when she would have done anything to avoid seeing him? Okay, what have you done, Nelly?
What are you doing here?
At the beginning it said 3 left. I already choose that. Going for a bike ride. I guess I'm gonna go with this one.
I went for an early morning bike ride.
Really?
Yeah, really nearly. It was still a little too dark. Couldn't see his face, but then I could hear the skepticism in his voice. Oh, dia nggak percaya. It made sense during the year that they had dated. Nellie never used her bike for anything other than her daily 20-minute commute or the occasional shopping trip. Voluntary exercise was a torture for her. Okay,
I'm trying to be healthier.
dia nggak senang exercise Nelly.
Oh, that's good. Me too.
I guess Rock was following you.
I was out for a walk myself. Drank too many energy drinks to power through the night, so I'm trying to burn off some of the caffeine. Anyway, are you alright? Fell off your bike?
Uh-huh. She stood up and slung the bag around her shoulders again, ignoring the mud on twigs stuck to her raincoat. Haku smiled awkwardly, dragged the hand kneeling by her bike.
Your chain. It's broken.
What?
Yeah, the chain is broken. Raku picked up the broken ends of the chain and waved them around.
Don't think you'll be able to ride it for a while, unfortunately. You're heading home, right? Me too. I'll walk with you.
Nellie's voice caught in her throat. She tried thinking of some excuse, anything that she could have thought out to make him go away, but she couldn't think of anything. Why, Nellie? Rako's face softened with a melancholic expression. Okay, Rako.
We don't have to talk.
The bike incident
I just don't want to leave you alone out here. Not after what happened to Sana.
Nellie bit her lip. Sana, her roommate, and her best friend since middle school had vanished 3 months ago. A week later, her body was found at the bottom of a cliff in this very forest, mangled beyond recognition. A tragic hiking accident. Alright? Alright, or I'm fine?
Alright.
Okay. She tried to rack her brain for an excuse, but she had no good reason to say no. Rako extended a hand.
Want me to carry the bag for you?
No.
She's hiding something. It's heavy. Say nothing. I should say nothing.
It's heavy. I don't want to bother you with it.
You sure, Nelly? Well, if you already choose the option, it will be darkened, and if it's already, if you haven't choose the option, yeah, it will be still light. He didn't respond. Instead, he placed both hands on the bike handles and started to walk it down the road. Okay, dia gak mau senang karena dia udah tanya, dia gak ngomong. To another life, Raku stayed true to his work. Normally, he was quite talkative, mumbling to her about whatever nerdy hobby captivated him that week. Now he didn't say a word. Okay. He's a man. In fact, he was barely looking at her. He just continued walking, only casting an occasional glance at Nellie to make sure he was walking at her pace. When she was certain that he wasn't looking, Nellie peeked at her ex-boyfriend out of the corner of her eyes. The circles under his eyes were as dark as ever, permanently tattooed reminders of his horrific sleeping habits. They stood out darkly against the anemic pallor of his skin. Hmm, okay, Rocco. He was usually on the pale side, but he looked even more sickly than normal. Maybe he hadn't been getting enough sleep. Yeah. Other students at their university use copious amounts of caffeine to fuel last-minute homework assignment or late-night crime session, but Nelly knew better. Okay, Nelly does know you better, man. You stayed playing. Rako had definitely stayed up all night riding with his girl in his latest MMORPG edition. He chanted, Echenda, Echedna, Echedna online. He conscripted on her a few occasions, giving her um, precise instruction on what buttons to press while he ran to the bathroom. Okay, dia senang bener main online. Those probably should have been better memories, but strangely enough, Nelly didn't hate those memories. Those evenings, she would lie on his bed, planting doorknob and patting cows on her handheld console, and every once in a while he would turn to her and grumble about um a cat he has teammate or celebrate a particular who's called Laikatisha Daisya blah blah blah. I need to work on my English. She wondered if his rides went well. He had complained about trouble drops for the past 2 months. Did he finally get the items that he wanted? Yeah. Dapat kamu ya yang kamu sayang senang, apa enggak? Something hit her face. Okay, here we are, guys. Something hit her face. Hujan. She reached up and whipped the raindrop trickling down her forehead, but as soon as she did that, another drop hit her face, and then another, and another. Well. Soon a torrent of water was assaulting them. Nelly drew her hood over her head, guarded from the onslaught by her raincoat. Raku wasn't nearly so lucky. Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Over there!
Okay, Raku. He grabbed her hand, ushering her to an old bus stop at the side of the road. When they entered, Raku wheeled the bike inside, leaning it against the back wall. Okay. He put her bike.
Lucky. Glad this was here.
Hit his face with his sleeve and ran a hand through her hair, flecking some of the water out.
You were even luckier, though.
Nobody lucky.
What do you mean?
He pointed at her coat.
I'm surprised you thought to wear a raincoat. The rain wasn't anywhere on the weather forecast this morning.
It was kind of humid, so...
Kinda humid, you say. Go percaya saya. Hulk seemed to accept the explanation. He leaned the bike to the side and looked around inside of the bus stop.
I wonder if the buses still come to this stop. There's no sign.
He took his phone out of the pocket of his jeans and whipped it on his sweatshirt before thumbing through the maps app.
No reception. Can't load anything.
Yeah, no reception. He squinted at the stormy gray sky.
Maybe it'll stop soon. No choice but to wait.
Yeah, no choice but to wait. Santai aja sama teman kamu, teman apa pacar kamu, ex-pacar. He plopped himself on the bench, crossing his blah blah blah. Nelly chewed at her thumb, sliding at the raindrop falling off. Should she leave? But if she did that, he might be suspicious, and he couldn't abandon her bike here. Her bag wasn't waterproof either, because she is hiding something on her bag. He, she brushed off the bench and sat down with him. Raku tried to hide a smile. He grabbed the bag over his neck, looked all around the inside of the bus stop, his gaze straying to every nook and cranny before finally landing. Nelly.
So, what have you been up to lately?
Yeah, what have you been up to lately?
Nothing much. Working on my thesis.
Ask about him. No. Stay silent, I guess, or talk about your thesis. Maybe I should talk.
Been spending most of my time in lab. The results are disappointing so far.
Yeah, it is disappointing so far. Raku was in a complete different department. He had no way of knowing if she was lying. Yeah, he wouldn't know how she was lying because he was in different department. He was doubting her.
Disappointing how?
Yeah, he might not disappointed, yeah. Nelly wanted to call. Normally, she would have invited question about academics since school was half of her personality. But this really wasn't the time for it. Napa.
Too much variation in the results to make any conclusions. Maybe it's my technique or the experimental design.
Mr. Allman. He thumbs his chain.
Well, you're brilliant and you work harder than anyone, so I know you'll work it out.
Nelly tried to smile, but her mouth just tightened. She appreciated Raku. Well, he's really optimism. She appreciated Raku optimism, but the issue at hand wasn't easy to solve.
Hey,
Ada masalah ni. He looked her up and down, bottles florins among her leggings and the raincoat nearly shrunk under the attentive appraisal.
you're hurt.
Huh?
She looked down. As she sat on the bench, the raincoat was pulled up, revealing her knees. Okay, something with her knees. Holes had been ripped in both of her leggings, exposing the skin underneath. One knee had small red patches, but it had been rubbed raw against the ground. The other had been completely skinned. Blood ran down in dark, crimson revolts, staining her leggings a muddy purple. Nelly blinked. Why didn't she feel anything? Was it the cold or the adrenaline? Raku knelt by her knees and rummaged around in his inner jacket pocket, fishing out a white handkerchief. He wiped the blood that was tracked down her leg before diverting his attention to the one he dipped at it, carefully whipping the exposed flesh. Her ex-boyfriend had unfortunately spent all his skill points on his academic smarts, coding skill, and gaming prose. He was sorely lacking most of the life necessities. Okay, there was always 50 chance that his toes emerged completely charred. He kept his papers in haphazardly organized piles on the floor. Somehow he even managed to sew an entire shirt sleeve that while attempting to reattach a bottom, the bottom was sadly not attached. Okay. He does lack some of the life basic, but he was always meticulous, no matter how small the task. Raku expanded 120 percentage effort. He would fuse for an hour while reducing cream sauce to perfect consistency. When he did her laundry, he kept it smoothing every wrinkle. When she went out of town and asked him to take care of the cat, he shared a spreadsheet with her, detailing every aspect of the pet's care. As she watched him painstakingly try to remove every speck, speck of dirt from her scrapped knee, those little memories flew through Nelly's head, refusing to leave. Ah, okay. We did a little matter. Oh, she tried to push them away. Her mind was foggy and her head tightened.
Does it hurt? Unfortunately, all I have is this. Shoot, I wish we were at home. This needs to be cleaned with ethanol. Does that hurt? Tell me if it hurts.
Yeah, does it hurt?
I'm fine.
Her knee didn't hurt, but the side did. Raku kneeling next to her, roaring unendingly. Blah blah blah. You guys can pause the game if you wanna read. I'm just gonna fast forward. Raku tied the handkerchief around the scrap, making sure that it wasn't too tight.
How's that? Okay?
It's fine.
It's fine. This one lump in her thought bobbed in place, refusing to disappear.
Somehow the blood got on the outside of your coat, too. Not a lot, though.
He scrambled a few spots on the bottom. He gave her coat one last wet handkerchief before getting up and returning to his seat.
I'm sorry. I didn't notice you were hurt.
I said it's okay.
They stayed in silence for around 10 minutes, but as they sat, Nelly could tell that Rack was growing increasingly tense. His leg puffed as he chewed on his lip. There's something you want to say. Finally, he turned toward her.
Nellie, can we talk?
I know it. Here it was. He wanted to talk. Of course he did. Yeah, kenapa kamu? Ada yang diomongin sama dianya. They had dated for almost a year and a half. They had even discussed their future plans together. If Rako had sent her a text out of the blue saying, "I'm breaking up with you," then she would have had questions too. She didn't want to talk or explain, which was why she had avoided him for 2 weeks after sending the text. Yeah, after sending the text. She had eluded him very successfully until this moment.
Was it something I did? Did I do something wrong?
Ya, kenapa kamu yang gitu sama dianya? Lihat mukanya, muka yang cakep, handsome. Kenapa kamu yang gak mau sama dianya? You are suffocating. You are graduating soon. Maybe this.
We're graduating soon. I'll go to veterinary school. You'll probably get a job on the other side of the country. Long-distance relationships rarely work. How many years are we going to text and video chat? It's unrealistic.
You don't know that it won't work. I can find something where I can work remotely. If not, then we can still at least try. If you're willing, then I'm willing.
Yeah, it depends on both
Any
parties.
relationship takes effort. A long-distance one just takes a little more effort, that's all.
It take a lot of
We were
work.
talking about moving in together a month ago. I don't understand how your feelings change so quickly.
They just did.
She looked well about the long relationship. It does take a lot of effort, man. LDR, ya. Itu tergantung berdua mau jalanin apa enggak. Kalau mau jalaninnya harus banyak sabarnya.
Is it because of what I did to Ji-hoon? Because I didn't apologize?
He gutted his teeth.
You know why I did it. You heard all those things he was saying about Sana. insisting that she was addicted to social media, saying she probably fell because she was trying to take a cute selfie with the sunrise. How could he say that about his own girlfriend? He deserved more than one punch.
I would do that also. If I was in Nellie's position. Nellie mouth tightened. She wanted to protest, to say that wasn't it. In reality, Raku outbursts had been gratifying. At the memorial, she sat in silence trying to ignore Jihoon's prattle so that she could focus on honoring Sana. The seconds felt like rolling hours. She wanted to sue Jihoon, mouth shut. When Raku finally hit him, it felt as if Raku had taken all her bubbling indignation and anger and shoved it in Jihoon's face. Okay, good job, Raku. At least you did something for your friends.
It's not that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this choice.
Why? When I asked for your number the first time, I didn't really think you'd give it to me. After all, you're you, and I'm me. I didn't think I had a shot with you. But I had to ask. I would have cursed myself if I didn't even try. And you gave it to me. And then you said yes when I asked you out for lunch, and then you kept saying yes. I was so happy. But I also thought that maybe you just viewed me as your gaming friend. So I asked, is this a date? And then you laughed and said, of course it's a date. At that moment, I felt this pang in my chest. I realized something. All of the messy, revolting things that had happened up until that point. The vile vulgarity of my own existence. It was because I had already spent all the luck I had in this lifetime to meet you. I had never met anyone like you before. Even though life hasn't been kind to you, you always find room in your heart to be kind to others. People, plants, animals. Even something as little and creepy and disgusting as an insect.
Yeah.
I still remember when you found a spider in your apartment. Not a small one either. It was perched on the wall above your bed, barely holding on with 3 broken legs. You reached out and caught it in your hands. It would have been so easy to squish it right then and there. But you didn't. You opened the window and let it go.
Yeah.
At that moment, I knew you were special. Really special.
She really does know Nelly pretty well.
I don't remember that at all. Did I do that?
Raku laughed.
You did. I guess you wouldn't remember. It was such a small thing. But I remembered.
Raku turned towards Nelly and slowly extended his arms around her. She stiffened slightly, but she didn't push him away.
You know how you go through life, and you meet all these different people, but none of them really know you. You'll meet and you'll talk about what movie just came out, or what assignment is due next in class, or what food they're serving in the cafeteria. But you can never tell them about the real you. It's like you brush together for a second, and then the next, you're each going your separate ways. And when you stop taking classes together, or you move away, you never see those people again. And your life isn't any different in the end, because they didn't really know you. But you're different, Nelly. You know me. In some ways, you know me better than my closest friends, and even my family. You know things about me that I can never tell anyone else. And if I couldn't see you anymore, that my life would be different. There would be a big, gaping hole where you used to be. Losing you terrifies me. I'm afraid that no one else would be able to know me the way you do. That I won't be able to open up to anyone else the way I opened up to you. And I don't want anyone else to know me the way you do, because they wouldn't be you.
I didn't know you felt that way about me.
Yeah. Literally, Nelly. Kamu gitu, Nelly resist. Draco pulled her chatter, whispering in her
I
ear.
don't want to break up. I love you, Nelly. I never want to love anyone but you. You don't feel the same? Not at all?
Nelly stayed silent, but she unconsciously leaned into Raku's hold. When her friends talked about their childhood, Nelly couldn't relate. When they reminisced, they brought up their beloved childhood cartoons, their favorite vacation, and their cherished family pets. Nelly didn't have memories of any of those things. Oh, I could relate also. Instead, all she remembered was the constant yelling, the embarrassment when she couldn't afford lunch, the fear as she huddled under the cover, never at home, even in her own house. The realized when her father went out one day and never returned. It was because the Raku ate him, my girl. You just don't know. Sometimes she talked to Sana, and Sana tried her best. She listened and nodded and said, I understand completely. That was a lie. There were simply some things that Nelly's best friend couldn't understand. All Sana could offer were some comforting words. That's rough, that's horrible. I can't believe that happened. As if Nelly's favorite television show had been cancelled, or she cracked her phone screen, or she had gotten a D on her latest exam. It wasn't Sana's fault, but it didn't make Nelly feel any better. Eventually, Nelly stopped talking about herself altogether. That changed when she met Draco. It wasn't some dramatic encounter. Yeah. The way they were standing in line at the library, both waiting to check out a couple of books. Okay. Draco noticed the keychain hanging from her pocket backpack, a small violin pulled pixel art spaceship from Space Buster. When they reached the front of the line and Nelly handed her book, they were still excitedly chatting about their favorite two games. She promised to lend Raku one of her um, cart- cartridges. Blah blah blah. Nelly didn't talk about herself at first. They talk, of course, but it was usually about their shared hobbies. They liked different genres and played in different ways. Raku fantasized punching, difficulty, and expensive exploration, while Nelly preferred methodically leveling her characters with optimized strategies. Still, they had plenty in common. When the conversation veered too personal, Nelly drove it back into the safety and benign small talk. Yet Draco had a way of he does know how to talk to her. Yet Draco had a way of tearing down Mithy methodically tearing down her carefully small conversation as they laughed on his bed, full and rosy from eating too much cheap pizza. The words started slipping out of their mouths one by one. Okay. For Nelly, Rocco was different. When he listened to her, Rocky thought she didn't look at her with pity, skepticism, disgust, or He looked at her, standing as if he had been with her every step of the way. Raku was special. That's exactly why they had to break up. She couldn't involve him in her life or her problems. She had to end it. Nellie warmed her hands between their bodies, pushed Raku away forcefully. Be kind or be firm? Probably be firm, because we were cruel at the first walkthrough. Should I be firm, guys? Be firm atau be kind? Adil atau senyum ada? Santai aja. Yang mana? Be firm. Yes, right. Be firm, right? Or be cruel or kind.
12 seconds later.
I understand how you feel, but you'll find someone else. There are plenty of people way better for you than me. You just haven't met them yet. You didn't do anything wrong. I'm not ready for this kind of relationship right now.
So that's it? It's over? Just like that?
Nell bit her lip. Part of her had wanted to call it, but he swallowed the urge.
It's over. It's over. It's over.
Every time he repeated himself, his face
Even
dropped.
though I've loved you for years. Even though I loved you this much.
He lowered his head, dragging a hand through his hair. Turn away from it. He turned to the other side of the bus stop, leaning heavily against the wall as the rain dropped, dampened his worn-out orange sneakers. Nellie twisted her hands together. Her ex-boyfriend wasn't the most emotive person. When he was amused, he expressed it through soft chuckles, not laughter. On one more than occasion, she only noticed that he was angry because he came home and pulled out a first-person shooter to play. He had only cried in front of her on one occasion, lying on his chest, playing with his earrings when Raku told her about his family, about the abuse and the inhuman expectations. She could tell that he was deliberately holding back the details, but his expression told her enough. She snuggled against his neck, kissed his cheek, and whispered, "You don't have to be who they want you to be. I love you no matter who you are." When he heard that, the tears started to flow. They gushed down his cheek. Effusive and understanding, and he pulled her in close and repeated, "Thank you," over and over. Seeing her ex-boyfriend now strongly reminded Nellie of that evening. Raku's reaction squeezed her heart painfully. She couldn't worry about him right now. She had bigger problems at hand. Dianya ada masalah gede, masalah gede lagi. Masalah apa ini? He's frightened. When he stood in front of her again, there was something different about his expression, something colder, more resolved, as if he had made some sort of decision during his moral period of introspection.
I heard about you and Ji-hoon. I've seen you two around.
Like that. Rocket
We're
run.
in the same department, in a lot of the same classes. It would be stranger if we didn't spend any time together. I've been helping him with his thesis, too.
People have been talking, saying that you took advantage of your best friend's death to cozy up to her rich boyfriend. They said that you two spent a lot of time together, that you went to his house on Friday. At first, I was devastated. I thought, Of course she chose him over me. He's tall, handsome, rich, athletic. But then, I thought about it some more. After all, Ji-hoon isn't perfect. We both listen to Sana. We both know how many of his faults that she forgave. His ego, his infidelity, his temper. You're smart. Why would you choose him? And there was something else. I thought, the Nellie that I love isn't cruel. She's kind. She wouldn't break up with someone over text just so she could chase another guy. I wondered, why would she do that then? Why would she break up with me so cruelly? Cut me off without another word? Maybe it was because she was planning something. Something where she didn't want anyone else to get involved.
Exactly. That's why.
Something bad.
Yeah.
Sana's death was always a little strange, wasn't it? She was the most outdoorsy out of all of us. She went hiking and camping all the time. She visited these woods constantly. She was always prepared. She never went anywhere without her hiking boots. So why was she found wearing a pair of wedge heels? And she fell off a cliff trying to take a selfie? That Sana? The Sana that only uploaded pictures of food and blurry photos of your cat?
This is the knee side of him. Like it. Shackle eyes glimmer.
Do you remember when Sana fractured her ankle? She couldn't walk properly for weeks. She said that she accidentally fell down the stairs when she and Ji-hoon were fighting. I wondered if that happened often. Sana accidentally tumbling down the stairs during fights with her boyfriend. Maybe on the night of her disappearance, she accidentally fell again. But this time, it wasn't down the stairs. It was over the railing. You've seen the stairs in the Kang family mansion. If you dropped head first over the railing onto that pristine marble floor, you'd never wake up again. Ji-hoon's standing over the body. He's the Kang family prince. He can't be involved in something like this. His life would be ruined. So he takes her body to a cliff near the house and drops her off it. She didn't die at his mansion. She died while hiking by herself. Too easy.
Oh.
After that, all he had to do was ask a few of his friends to cover for him. They're too eager to lie to suck up to the Kang heir. But there was one snag in his plans. Sana's best friend, who couldn't stop crying for over a month after she was found, who was too familiar with the kind of guy Ji-hoon really was, who knew where Sana was the night she disappeared, because they were roommates who texted each other about everything. The best friend was suspicious. She wanted to know the truth, so she broke up with her poor boyfriend and got close to Ji-hoon instead. It wouldn't have been difficult to get an invite to his house. Maybe Ji-hoon even offered. Why don't you come pick up Sana's belongings? She left some things at my place. And then something unexpected happened. A plot twist, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, something has been bothering me for a while now. Something smells. At first I thought it was your knee, but that's not quite right, is it? The stench is too strong for that. What is that odor? A little sweet, slightly metallic. It smells delicious.
His glass, like ice glittered under the stringy blue tartan
What's
bag.
in the bag, Nelly?
Nelly, he knows. Stab him. Oh, he knows everything. Oh, Nelly panicked. I can't believe myself going for this ending. I need to stop him. Her mind was blank. She didn't think. She just unzipped her bag and put her hands inside. Rack was still staring at her face, eyes completely unblinking. Nelly flicked her head to the side. Raku followed her gaze, momentarily distracted. Oh, oh, Nelly. Nelly! She took the opportunity to sweep the knife from the bag. She tackled him from below, shoving her shoulders in his chest as she poured the weapon in his guts. A choked gurgle emerged from Raku's throat. He tried to grab the knife, but Nelly was faster. She extracted the blade and struck him with her elbow, pinning him against the back of the bus stop. Stab him. The weapon easily sunk into his abdomen. His diaphragm fluttered against her hand as if it struggled. Okay, to fight the blade, stab him. What? Stabbing him again? Oh my god! As she throws the knife into his side, it hit something, a rib. She twisted the blade, angling it down until it slid into his flesh completely. Stab him. She plunged the knife in one more time near his head. She pulled the weapon out and took a few steps back. Really, Nelly? Raku grunted, clutching his blood-stained abdomen with one hand as he pushed off the back of the bus stop with the other. He only made it a few steps before he collapsed, lying face up on the concrete. His chest quivered in agony as breath stopped through his lips. Nelly clenched the knife held in her fingers. She had to get rid of him. It was already too late. She had to finish him and make sure he would never be found. But as she stared at his prone body, her vision became blurrier and blurrier. Nelly, why did you do this? Raku tried to sit up, but he only managed to lift his head. He looked at his torso with curiosity, probing his wounds with his fingers and examining the blood with interest. He rotated his head, inspecting the puddle forming underneath him on the dark, cracked cement. His face was contorted in pain, but he looked almost impressed at the quantity of blood that was coming out of him. Well, Lily. Raku. Nilnya dari panik, masih panik dia.
Why? I wasn't going to tell anyone. I love you. I just wanted to help.
No. The acidized taste of bell tagged at the back of Nilly's throat. She turned around and squeezed her eyes shut and swallowed hard until the urge to vomit receded. She couldn't. Raku gazed at her back. His words were choked and hoarse, accompanied by wet coughs.
It's okay, Nelly. I'll forgive you.
Okay, the dam broke. She couldn't stop the tears from flowing. She couldn't look at him anymore. She grabbed the knife, her bike, and her bag and broke into a run down the road. The raindrop pelted her face painfully, but she didn't stop to put her hood up. Every time her, her energy started to wane and her pace slowed, the image of Rocco mutilate, foam flash, blah blah blah. By the time she made it back to town, it had stopped raining and the sun was high in the sky, ready to make this trip down. She walked for 20 minutes before, luckily, the rain had banished all the blood away. She was just a girl wearing a blue raincoat, carrying a yellow sports bag, and wheeling a broken bike. As she approached her apartment, Ryan something whose the sky was beginning to dim. She left her bike in the rack and entered the building. Her life was probably over, but she drove it. She wasn't wasting time trying. All she wanted to do was go home, lie on the floor, and not have to think anymore. She fumbled the keys out of her pocket. The keychain slipped through her fingers. Her hands were trembling, making the mundane task a little difficult, but eventually she managed to insert the key into the door. She turned it, the lock open. However, before she could open the door, a hand reached round her, landing on the handle. What? Oh, shh! A ball hand with long fingers, painted in streaks brown and red. Nellie, you are in trouble, girl. The hand tightened, fingers biting. The handles creaked as
I wasn't
tongues.
done talking, Nellie.
Uh-oh, Raku. He healed himself. The door opened, and Nellie was shoved into a darkened apartment.
Let's continue the conversation, shall we?
Uh-oh, Nellie. How could you do this to me? It's adorable, but do I need to teach you a lesson? To teach you a lesson. Yes, Daddy. Please teach me a lesson. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope I can see you in my next video. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.